Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I make a mistake. I put 10 a.m. In the WhatsApp. I put the class at 10 a.m. Patutlah tadi saya buka, tak ada orang. I accidentally put that name, the time 10. Kita dia silap buat schedule. So did you come 10 a.m. tadi? Did you come in the morning?
No, so we enter the other link.
It was wrong, you know. I put in that time. It should be 3:50, bukan 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is my other class. So I hope you didn't come 10 a.m. tadi tu. Okay. All right. So we will continue from where we left last class. We are done with the section 9.4. So now we are. Now we are starting 9.5.
Yeah.
Okay, 9.5.
Mute なんだよね。
Nora Rina. Apa ya?
何言ってんのかよくわからない。富士山すぎるからこの人。
Ain Dalili, can you mute your mic? I even hear your baby. So we are going to continue 9.5. Yeah, I actually have one announcement, but I will make announcement later. All right, 9.5, it's about product rule, quotient rule. So what is product rule? Now, the product rule is when you have multiplicative terms. You have at least, not at least like two terms that are multiplicative of each other. So you have u of x times v of x. So example would be like this. Let's say we have f of x equal to power rule, product rule. Wait, patutnya rule mana dulu? Dia nak begini. Power rule, constant multiplied by power rule. First, before we go to the we have a constant coefficient rule. Did we discuss the coefficient rule last time? Coefficient rule. You have the coefficient of the terms in x multiplied by the x. Dapat tak coefficient rule? Product rule, coefficient rule. Buku dapat ni constant product rule, coefficient rule. Dapat coefficient rule. Coefficient rule they just follow the thing. So we have done a sum rule, difference rule. Okay. So difference rule dapat.
Do it different.
Difference rule dapat ke belum? Not yet. Difference rule not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. But I have the coefficient rule. Dapat kan coefficient rule? You have coefficient rule. The coefficient just follow the derivative. All right. So we start with the difference rule. Now, difference rule, you have, instead of adding terms, we have subtraction. Now, everything else will be the same, you know, just like the sum rule, just maintain the minus sign. So let's say I have a u. I go to the notes now. Because that is r. So u minus b is u prime minus b prime. So you have the negative sign. So I give you another example. So I have done that. So we start with the example. Let's say I have 4x to the power of 2.1 minus 25x to the power of 11 minus 100x to the power of negative 3. So the power rule, I'm sorry, not the power rule, the difference rule, we differentiate every term, okay? You don't worry about the negative sign. We differentiate every term and you maintain the negative sign. So I have 4, 2.1, x 1.1. So maintain the subtraction sign. I have 25, okay, times 11, x to the power of 10. And then there is another term. So 100 multiplied by 93, x to the power of negative 4. So you maintain the difference. Okay, so that is a different rule. And of course, you can simplify. So that is different. Now we go to 9.5. Now 9.5 is the product. You have two terms in X. And then they are multiplied to each other. So you go to 9.5. Example, let's say we have something like this. You have y equal to 2x to the power of 10 plus 21x to the power of negative 5. Okay, something like that. So you have here two terms in x. Not two terms in x. Here you can apply the power rule. But let's say you have this term here, and then multiplied with another term, 2x cubed minus 43x to the power of 7. So you have your two terms. Of course, you can multiply each of the terms, you know, so you can just apply the power rule. But sometimes we can apply this rule. This is called the product rule. So if you have something like that, essentially we have two terms in x or two functions in x. So what you have is u times b, u of x times b of x. So how do you do the derivative? What you do here is this rule, right? Okay, now just read the rule, write it down. Okay, so what do you understand from the rule? What is the rule? What does the rule say? How do you get the derivative? If you have 2 times b, then can you describe the rule? How do you get that derivative? How? You have here that is called the product rule. Right. In short, I have here y equal to u times x. So, for example, that is u, that is b. I'm sorry, not x. So I have two terms in x. So you have seen the rule. What does the rule say? We go back to the rule. What does the rule say? In order for us to find the derivative, it's not that straightforward. All right. Now, what does the rule say? What do we do? You differentiate u. Okay, you differentiate u multiplied by v, then you add derivative of v multiplied by u. So you differentiate one term at a time, multiplied by the other term, and then you do the same for the other term. So if you look back into this one, they give you, I prefer the one that I wrote, but the book used uv prime plus v u prime, same thing. Okay, but I prefer the order here. Okay, I prefer to start with u prime v plus v prime u. So it doesn't matter whether you use uv prime plus v u prime. Both are all right because they are equivalent. All right. So now, how do you do the derivative? So in order for you to do the derivative, you have something like that. You will let the first term be u. So you let u be the first term. So 10 to the power, no, 10x to the power of 10 plus 21x to the power of -5. And then you let v be equal to 2x cubed minus 43x to the power of 7. So what do? We get u prime because you need the u prime and also the v prime. So what is u prime? U prime 10x to the power of 9 plus 21 multiplied by -5 x to the power of -6. So that is u prime. And then v prime, what is it? 6x squared minus 43 times 7x to the power of 6. Okay, so I have u prime, I have v prime. So what you do, you substitute into that. Okay, you do the substitution. You don't have to simplify. Okay, so what you do, you substitute into it. No, simplify. Don't simplify. If you simplify in the process, probably we do some mistake. Okay, and then there are many steps. So put back into the formula. What do you get? Everybody do it. Okay, what do you get for that thing? X to the power of 9 minus 21 times 5. What is it equal to? 21 times 5, what? 100 and 100, 21 times 5, 110, 105. 21,
105.
5, 105. So all the constants, so we can multiply out now. Okay, and then I have 43 multiplied by 7. That is 301. So u prime, v prime. So you got it? Okay, first person who got it, let me know. You don't have to show me the answer. Someone who got it, let us tell me so that we will continue. I just need the first person that put into the formula, get the product. So what do you get? Somebody got it? So y prime is equal to what? U prime times v. Okay. So u prime times v, I have 10x to the power of 9 minus 105 x to the power of -6. You multiply by u. Okay. So you multiply by v. So that v is equal to v nih. You multiply by that v. 2x cubed minus 43x for 7. Okay, multiply that. And then you put in, okay? And then you add v prime. All right, 6x squared minus 301x to the power of 6 multiplied by u. So you put in that u. Okay, which is what? U is this one. x to the power of 10 plus 21x to the power of -5. Okay, now don't simplify it up, because simplify will take a lot of our time, and that is not what you want. Okay, what we want is only you apply the rule. Okay, that's all you want. Okay, everybody got it? Okay, now let's look at another example from the book. There are a few examples here. Okay, so that is the first one. The first one is quite similar to what I have earlier. We do the second one. All right, you do the second one because there are more terms here, and it involves positive and negative numbers. So I want you to do the second example. You let u be the first term, and then v be the second term, apply to the formula. Okay, do it now. But don't simplify, okay? The book simplify here. You don't have to do it. Because we want to be quick. Okay, got it? Dalam itu dia tak buat. They already give you the solution. Okay, but we don't want the solution right away. What you want is the way I did it. You let u be the first term, get the derivative of u, and then let v be the second term, get v prime. Then put in the formula. Okay, you got it? So let's finish it up. We have u, okay? U first term, okay? So I'll just jump. So I want you to do it, all right? U prime, what is u prime? You let u be the first term, so u prime is 12x to the power of 2 plus 10x minus 6. That is u prime. Okay? And then you let v be the second term, and v prime is what? V prime is 3x, right? Minus 8x. Okay, is that right? So you put into the formula. Okay? We know that y prime is u prime v plus v prime u. Or you just follow the order in the book. Okay. So that is example number 2. Now 9.4, for homework, I give you some questions. You do number 3 up to number 8. So this is the product book. Okay, so there are 6 questions. I think you can do all. Okay. Now we move on to the second rule. Now our second rule is what we call quotient rule. So here we have division of 2 terms. Okay, 2 terms in x, or 2 functions in x. So example is something like this. We have, say example, we have y equal to 2 terms that are divided to each other. Let's have y equal to 5x to the power of -9 minus 101 x to the power of 2.4 divided by 12x to the power of 8 plus 25x to the power of negative 3.6, something like that. So I have two terms in x divided to each other. So we apply what we call the quotient rule. So you let the terms on the top be u, the second v. So you have u divided by v. So in a sense, you have u of x divided by v of x. So we don't normally write u of x, no, because it takes time. So you just write u over v, and we know that u is some terms in x, v is also some terms in x, or function of x. Now, what is the quotient rule? Okay, you write down the quotient rule. It's not as simple as the product rule, because you have what? You have division. So here you see here, this everything is divided by v squared. Okay, so write it down. And make sense of it. Jangan tulis here. Okay, you write and think. Okay, so v prime, or not v prime, y prime or f prime is equal to what? Is equal to u prime v. You have u over v. Okay, so I have u over v. F prime is equal to. So now I just use the different notation. Sometimes I use y, sometimes we use f prime of x, sometimes we use f prime. So it's okay. Okay, we can use any of this just to get familiar. So f prime is equal to what? U prime v minus v prime u, or you can use the order in the book, divided by v squared. So you have that. That is the quotient rule. So what you do, we go back to this example here. You let the first term be u. Okay, so you let u be the first term. 5 x power minus 9 minus 101 x to the power of 2.4. And then find u prime. And then we let v be the denominator. And then you find v prime. Okay, do it now. And then put in the formula. Okay, got it. So we let u be the numerator. So what is u prime? You bring the -9 down, multiplied by 5, we got -45. Reduce the power by 1, that is -10. And then you have a -101, okay? -101 multiplied by 2.4. So what do we get? We get negative
242.
or 2.4. X to the power of 1.4. Okay, is that right? Okay, if it is different from yours, let me know. Probably I did something wrong here. Okay, the second one. 12 times 8, 96. X to the power of 7. And here you got 25. Okay, 25 multiplied by -3.6. So, you know, you write the step. I want to, because I want to go faster. Otherwise, we are wasting time. So I go right away into the multiplication. So 25 multiplied by -3.6. Negative, betul lah, 3.6 kan? So 25 times 3.6, we have -90. Right, 90. X, you reduce the power by 1. I have -4.6. Okay. All right. So you apply into the formula. We will get the following. So y prime is equal to, you remember u prime times b. Okay. So u prime times b. First term is u prime times b. So we got -45 x to the power of -10 minus 242.4 x to the power of 1.4. Multiply by what? Multiply by the v. Okay, because this is u prime multiplied by v. So I've got 12 x to the power of 8 plus 25 x to the power of -3.6. So that's the first term. Minus, okay, v prime times u. So v prime, we have 96 x to the power of 7 minus 90 x to the power of -4.6 multiply u 5 x to the power of -9 minus 101 x to the power of 2.4. That's only the top. Okay, that's the top. You have to divide by everything by v prime. So since I use 2 lines, so what we do, you make a big bracket there. Okay, make big bracket. Now, what we should do, when you have the big bracket, I put this number here because I don't have the space. Okay, actually I can just do like that. So the big bracket that I have, okay, I divide by that division sign. You put the division sign, and then you divide by v squared, which is 12x to the power of 8 plus 25x -3.6, everything squared. Tak payah simplify. Okay, if you want to simplify, bagus juga. If you want to do simplification, but it will take some time, and that is not our purpose. Okay, so that is quotient rule. Any question about the quotient rule? So you have division of 2 terms. Now you go to 9.4. Again, I'll give you some questions on the quotient rule. So quotient rule, questions 11. You can do up to 16. Up to 16. Up to 16. So you can do up to 20. Yeah? Okay? 11 up. Now, if you look at the book, question 1 to 4, okay? Because I asked you to do 3 and 4. right? From the first 3 and 4. So you don't have to simplify. Dalam buku tu dia tulis simplify. Tak payah buat lah. Just get the derivative. Okay. Right. Now for the quotient rule, I would like you to try one question. I'll give you a simple question. Okay. You can try question number 11. Okay, you do number 11 now. Okay, do it now. Okay, the first person who got it, just tell me so that we can continue.
Sir, 9.5, right?
Yeah, 9.5. This is all 9.5. This is on the one that we are discussing now. Okay, I want to check, all right? I want to check firstly your names. Okay, make sure your name is as per the classroom. And then you have your picture. So I still, we still have one or two students. Ini dia. Siapa nama tadi? Hatim. You know? Mana gambar? Put your picture there. Hatim, are you here? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is your name? Is your name
Muhammad Hatim? Yes.
Muhammad Hatim. Saya dah cakap, tak faham ke? Saya dah cakap lah kan. If your name is consisting of 2 or more components, parts, first, most important is your first name. Muhammad, bukan Hatim. Susahlah saya nak check attendance. Faham ke tak faham saya cakap? I already said this a few times, Pernah tahu cakap benda yang sama. Ada juga lagi tak faham. Okay? So either you tak faham ataupun you just don't want to do it. Okay? Now, I said last time, if you continue to do this, for those people who didn't put their full name, I will deduct marks. If I want to check your attendance, I want to record your points, I will take out marks because it takes extra time to locate your name. So only Hatim ni, your name bukan Hatim, your name Muhammad Hatim. Nizam tu tak ada, tak apa. I don't need that Nizam. Nizam tak ada, tak apa. What I want is your first name, second name, as per registration or class list. Takkan you tak tahu your class list ni macam mana. Takkan Muhammad tak ada dalam class list tu. Okay. Macam ni. Abu Bakar. Like Abu Bakar. Your name is Abu Bakar ke bukan Abu Bakar?
Abu Bakar dia.
Abu Bakar. So Abu Bakar, that's how you put it. Okay? You put Abu Bakar. Alright? Because the name is Abu Bakar. So that's how we do this. Alright? Macam ni, Aisyah Zulkifli. Sometimes if your name is Aisyah, you have Siti or Nur. Do you have Nur Aisyah? Nurul Aisyah?
No.
No.
I have Aisyah.
Siti Aisyah ke bukan? There is another student, Siti Aisyah. So this is another case. Your name is Nur Aisyah, bukan Siti Aisyah. Okay? Letaklah Nur tu. Otherwise, susahlah. Because Aisyah ni, most of the time, ramai orang nama Aisyah ni, bukan seorang lah. Teruk saja. I have to check. Pergi dekat A, tak ada. And then I have to go back to there, Then I have to check CP ke? No. Aduh, penat. So, there are a few people. So that is one example. 2 examples, okay? Hatim, Aisyah. So if your name is not in full, like I said, first, second, your third name, tak payah, tak apa. Please Okay, please modify. Okay, modify to make it actually the same as the class list. Macamnya Abu Aibid Taha. So his name is very long, but he put it in the order of the class list. First name Abu Alai. Okay, so macam tu Abu Alai Taha. I need only the first two. Because that is how we refer to the name. Okay, and that is only. Tapi Aisyah Zulkifli ni, Aisyah saja. I don't know. Mana ada tu? Aisyah ada. Alright, so I hope everything is clear. So for those people who have not made the adjustment with regard to your names, to be consistent with the class list, please do so cepatlah. Please do as soon as possible. If you don't understand what I said, okay, you WhatsApp me. Okay, WhatsApp my number. Ask me the question, what you don't understand. Okay, so tak faham, WhatsApp saya. Kalau tak faham lagi itu, tak tahu. Balik kampung lah kok, tanah jagung. Alright, so now we go to, we are done with the quotient rule. We are done with the product rule. So we move on. We go on to 9.6. 9.6, we have what you call the general power rule. Here, the chain rule, the power rule. So we start with the power rule. Okay, I start with the power rule first, because power rule, you just have some terms in X raised to certain power. Okay, example is something like this. If we have equation, alright, something like this. So this is general power rule. Because the power rule kita dah pakai ada dulu. We use the power rule already, 9.4. So now it's general power rule. So suppose we have something like this. Kita tengok example dulu. Let's say I have y equal to 5x to the power of 5x to the power of 3, okay, plus 61x to the power of 2.8. Okay, everything raised to the power of, say, 11. So we have something like this. Okay, it's not the simple x that we used to have earlier. Earlier you have only x to the power of 11. Or, you know, the most is you have y equal to 24x to the power of -6, something like that. So we apply the power rule. But here you have what? We have more than one terms in it. So we apply the general power rule. Now, general power rule, the formula is this. You have here, you have y equal to some function of x. They call it u. Macam u over v tadi lah. U raised to the power n. So that u is the terms in x in the bracket. So if I go back to that example, everything in here, okay, that is u. So I have that related to u. So what is the rule? The rule is what you call the general power rule. We have the following. U to the power of n. So what you do here to get the derivative, okay, that's the rule. Okay, now read the rule, write it down. So what is the difference between this one and the rule earlier, the power rule earlier? Power rule, yeah, simple power rule. What is the difference between that one and this one? dekat hujan. Gombak je hujan lebat. Tempat lain je ni. Dekat Pahang hujan lebat tak? Ataupun dekat ni. Dekat Terengganu, Kelantan, belah East Coast. Hujan lebat ke tak hujan? Dekat Selangor ni dah lebat hujan. Okay. What is the difference between this power rule and the power rule that we have earlier? Apa beza? Satu dia beza. What is the beza? What is the difference?
Inverse.
Huh? What is the difference?
Inverse.
Inverse?
Yeah.
No, it's not inverse. What is it?
Oh.
The only difference is what? You have what? We have du dx. That means you have to take the derivative of u with respect to x. The simple power rule, you don't have that. You multiply n with the x raised the power n minus 1. But here, since it's u, all right, which is consisting of some terms in x, you have to take another term, derivative of u. So you can call it u prime. It's the derivative of u with respect to x. So that is the general power. So I have here y equal to u to the power of x. So what is y prime? You bring down the power, multiplied by u, reduce the power by 1. So that is the power rule. Okay. Now u is not just x. U is some terms in x. So you have to multiply by what? U prime. And u prime is du dy. Oh no, I'm sorry, du dx. All right. So the rule. So we call this general power rule. So it's not difficult. Okay. What you do here, you let u be the terms in the bracket. You find u prime. Okay, go ahead, find u prime. And then we will into the formula. We will get the answer. Okay, we know. We'll get u prime because we need u prime in order for us to be able to solve that thing. What is u prime? So I think I will do it here in that page. Okay, somebody get the derivative? Somebody, anybody? If you got it, that's okay. Just tell me. It is right or wrong, doesn't matter. Okay? Doesn't matter is it right or wrong, because we're going to discuss it anyway. But what I'm asking is, anybody who has finished? Anybody finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So we will do it. Now, u is the things in the bracket. So what is u prime? So u prime is equal to what? So you let u be the terms in the bracket. I don't write it now, okay? So you do that. You be everything there, okay? And then you get u prime. So u prime is what?
15x
squared, okay? 15x squared. Plus you multiply 61 multiplied by 2.8. 170.
170.8.
0.8. X of 1.8. So that is u prime. All right. So you put into the formula. Okay. So what do we get? Ini salah. My formula. Do you think my formula? I made a mistake. Is it wrong or is it right? Huh?
Wrong.
Wrong. Apa saya tak cakap? Diam je. So it should be n. Okay. Bila saya buat x, when I want to put U prime, I see here X. Saya put pening, apa saya ada X. So that was not the right one. So if you copy, you put pening. All right. So that's why I said you write down first, follow the book. And here, it shouldn't be X. So those people who write X, that is, okay, so if you follow me, it's a set. So we come back to the right path. So here should be what? Should be U to the power of N. Lain kali cakap lah, jangan main diam je. So that's what I said, there are 40 people here. So when you see what I make a mistake, let me know. Okay. Otherwise, I will continue making the mistake for a long time. All right. Probably I will recover it. But if I don't, then until the end of the day, salah. So we tahu lah, it's nothing wrong to tell me. So you got N multiplied by U raised to the power of N minus 1. Okay, one more thing. Okay, there are 39 people here. According to the list, okay, probably some people already dropped. Okay, some people dropped. I do not know how many people dropped. In my list, there are 44 people. Okay, 44 students. So if I assume that the list, 2 people drop, so now I have about 42. Okay, 42. Number of people coming, 39. 39, 3 people missing. So not good, not so good, because our class is small. I expect everybody to be here. Okay, so we have that formula. You do the derivative. Okay, I will take out the thing. So I take out the formula, okay, because I need the space. Okay, so the formula you already know. Okay, I also know the formula. So we put the formula. So y prime is equal to what? You reduce the power. Oh no, you bring down the power. So 11. Okay, multiplied by everything in the bracket. So the formula says U. So we maintain U. Okay, we maintain U. And then reduce the power by 1. So N minus 1. Now we have to multiply by U prime, or the U dx. So it should be 15x to the power of 2 plus 170.8x to the power of 1.8. But U, okay, U is the terms there in the bracket. So we write another step, finish it up. So I have 11, okay, multiplied by 5x to the power of 3 plus 61x 2.8 to the power of 11. And then you multiply by the U prime. Okay, so put under. So I don't write first, I don't think you're going to fit that space. So you write down, okay? So you write down the U prime, and then that is U in terms of X. So that is our solution. Okay? So you don't stop here. Okay, you don't stop here.
Yeah.
You don't stop here because it's U. Okay, you have to write another step, U in terms of X. That we already.
Set.
Yes.
Sir, you have to minus 11. You have to minus 11 minus 1.
Minus 11. Where?
11 minus 1.
Power.
Power.
Yeah. So it's 11
It will be 10.
minus 1. So here, yeah, thank you. So here, U prime. Okay, UN minus 1. Yeah, you're right. So that one should be 10. Okay, thank you. So 10 lah, bukan 11. Okay, the rule say N minus 1. So that one should be 10. Macam tu lah. If I make a mistake, we tahu cepat. Okay, otherwise, that will be a major mistake. Okay, because I didn't take out 1 from the power. So that is a big mistake. It looked like just 1, 10, 11 minus 1. It's just a small number, 1. But that's a big thing. And then you multiply by U prime. Okay, now U prime, U is only the terms in the bracket without the power. Okay, so just U, so that is the term. So you put it there. Okay, all right. So we take a short break because Azan. We will come back after the Azan. Okay, so I'll see you again. Okay, Assalamualaikum. All right, so we have done that question, that example. This is the general power rule. Okay, so we do one more question. So you look at 9.6. Okay, go to 9.6. 9.6. Give you the power rule from question 5 up to 70. Okay, you do some of this. For now, okay, now I want you to do question number 8. Okay, number 8, do now. Do now, number 8. All right, one question, number 8. So you apply the general power rule. Okay, before I forgot, I have to make one announcement regarding our quiz. I forgot to do it earlier. Okay, quiz number 1. All right, so you have a quiz number 1 next week. Next week on Wednesday, 17/11/21 in class. Okay, in class And that will cover only two topics, chapter 1, chapter 4. Okay, linear function. And then here is the inequalities, linear programming, or the optimization problem. So that's linear programming. Yeah? Now, what you are covered or what you are responsible for are only the things that we talk about in class. So you don't have to read the whole book, chapter 1, or the whole book, chapter 4. Then we just do what we do in class, the sections that we do in the classroom. Okay, so for example, chapter 4, 4.1, 4.2. So tak payahlah pergi 4.3, right? Okay, so in class. And when you do the method, you do method what we learn here. Okay, I know you may know some other method that you learned before or whatever. We learn the method that we learn in the class. So if you do the question, you do the method that we discussed in class. So if you know another method, now you know two methods. Okay, if you use another method, even though it is right, it's not acceptable. Okay, do the method that we learned here. Okay, do number 8. Right, I'll give you a few minutes to do that question 8. Okay, first person who have done it, let me know. So then we proceed. You finish, tak apa, you know, don't worry about whether it's wrong or right. Okay. Okay, siapa dah siap? Dah siap tu? Anybody finish? Right? Tadi seorang lagi siap? Lama ke? Okay, hurry up.
Okay, sir, finish.
Okay, finish. All right, good. So what you do, you know, we apply the rule. This is the general power rule. So you let be the terms in the bracket as what? As u. So we know that y prime is equal to what? Y prime is n, u to the power of n minus 1 multiplied by u prime. So we need u prime. So you let u be equal to the terms in the bracket, which is what? 2x. Now, if you have another addition, probably your question will not be the same as my book, but it's okay. For this kind of thing, you just do the question as per your book. So if it is different, that's fine. Unless it is the homework question that I want you to submit. Okay, but for practice, you just do the question in your addition. It may be different from what I have. So you got u be the terms in the bracket. So u prime is what? 6x squared minus 1. So that is u prime. So you put in the formula. So therefore, y prime, you have the constant there. So constant, don't worry about the constant will follow the derivative. So I have 3 over 4, okay, multiplied by the power, which is 8. Okay, you can put the bracket, eh? And then I have you have u, okay, u to the power of 7. Okay, u to the power of 7 and multiplied by u prime, 6x minus 1. And then we simplify, not simplify now, we'll put back u. So that is 6. Now u is 2x cubed minus 8 plus 6. Reduce the power, we already reduced it. So that is 7. Okay, multiplied by 6x squared minus 1. Okay, now, if you're familiar already, after you do a few times, you're familiar. So you can skip the step here. You don't have to put that u, because we know what is u. U is 2x cubed minus x plus 6, the terms in the bracket. So you can do right away the finished product. In other words, the n multiplied by u, n minus 1. So you will know u is the terms in the bracket. So you write away, or you do it right away. Actually, right away, putting the u in terms of, and then u prime. Okay. So, but if you're not sure, then you write that one. You write the other step. So if you're sure, we just do this way. So by practice, if we do a sufficient number of things, question, and then you are familiar, so you don't have to put that u, you just do it right away with the u in terms of x. Okay, all right. So that is apa nama tadi? General power rule. Now the other rule in this part is the chain rule. Okay, chain rule. What is chain rule? Chain rule is this one. Chain rule. Ini dia chain rule. Chain rule lagi. Okay, chain rule. Chain rule. We have something like this. Okay, chain rule. Okay, chain rule ni macam ni. You have this chain rule. Okay, chain rule. Ada pun tulis chain rule. Chain rule. You have y as a function of u. U is a function of x. So basically, we have macam 3 variables. So you want to find dy dx. Okay, so that's where the chain comes from, because it involves 3 variables. So what is the rule? Easy. You do dy dx, that is what you want to find. So what we do, you take dy du, derivative of y with respect to u, and then you multiply to du dx, derivative of u with respect to x. Okay, so you call it chain rule. Because in order for us to get dy dx, we have to go through u. Okay, okay, that's called chain rule. Okay, write it down. Okay. Okay, example would be like this. Dia macam ni. We have the idea, okay? The idea is you have, I write y. Okay, you have y as a function of u. U is the variable, but u is the function of x. So there are 3 variables, right? Your x, and then u, and then what? Y. What I want is dy dx. Okay, so you have to do what? You have to do it twice. You have to have dy du, and then du dx. It's like, like you travel to to one place, and you have to go through another place. Macam tu lah. For example, you go from KL, all right? You go to Alustar. Okay, Alustar. You have to go through Ipoh. Okay, so if you go by bus, ini zaman dulu lah, zaman sekarang tak ada lah. If you go by bus, you take a bus KL Ipoh. From Ipoh, take another bus Alustar. Itu lah. Or if you go from KL to mana? To Kuala Lumpur. Okay, ini tempat Siti Nurhaliza, Kuala Lumpur. You have to go to Rauk dulu. Okay, you take a bus from KL to Rauk. Daripada Rauk naik bus lagi Kuala Lumpur. Okay, daripada pagi petang sampai. So that's okay. You have to do it twice. So if you have that, what is the derivative? Derivative is you want to find dy dx. So what we do, we take derivative of y with respect to u, and then take derivative of u with respect to x. So two things, dy du, du dx. And if you think of it as, you cancel out ni dua, dapat dy dx, sama lah. Okay, but that's the chain. So example, ada example? Did I give you example? Tak ada lagi. So example, macam ni. Let's say I have y equal to u to the power of 15.4. And u is a function of x. That is equal to, say, 6x to the power of 9 minus 88x to the power of negative 4.5. Macam tu. So you see here, y power of u, y is a function of u is a function of x. So you want to find dy dx. So what is it equal to? Dy du. Okay, I write down the formula because sometimes we forgot. So dy du, du dx. Dy du, straightforward. All right, but du dx, straightforward juga lah. So kita tak payah buat u, let u be equal to tak payah lah sebab dia dah ada situ. Okay, you can do, we can do it here. So that we can simplify. So u prime apa? U prime is 9 times 6, 54. So now you have 88 times 4.5, both negative, negative 88 multiplied with negative 4.5. So that will become positive. Positive apa? 88 times 4.5. 88 times 4.5. Berapa dapat? Oh, 396. Cantik ya. Plus 396. You reduce the power by 1. So 5.5. Okay. So yang u ni bolehlah tulis itu sebab kita dah tulis. So put into the thing dy du. What is it? So 15.4 u. Reduce the power by 1. So 14.4. That's not the end of the story. You have to multiply by u prime. So 54 x to the power of 8 plus 396 x to the power of berapa power? Negative 5.5. But you have to put in the u. All right. So I have 15.4. Put the u, 6x to the power of 9 minus 88x to the power of negative 4.5. Reduce the power by 1. Okay, you got that already, 14.4. Then multiply by u prime. Okay, finish that. So that is dy. Actually, it's very similar to the general power rule. But here, you do it, the terms in the back, in terms of U. Okay, so saya ada bagi soalan tak chain rule tadi? Chain rule, I give you question on the chain rule. Belum lagi. 5 to 17 dah bagi dah. 5 to 17. Oh, that is ni. Okay, chain rule belum bagi lagi. That is general rule. So for the chain rule, there are not many questions there are in the book. So here 9.6, 1 to 4. Okay, these are the only questions that can give you chain rule. Okay. Question? Any question? Anything? Okay, good. So now, okay, we have done the rules, 9.4, 9.5, 9.6. So these are the basic rule. Basic rule for number 9. And these are the important basic rule. And then 9.7, that is the application. Right. And then 9.8, 9.9, basically the rest are application. So when we do application, we want to see how the derivative relates to application, the use of derivative in application. So I want you to go back to 9.4. So application, we start back at 9.4, because 9.4, you know, they have application, and then 9.5 applications. So we will start with 9.4. You go back to 9.4. First application there that we want to look at is the revenue. So if you have my book, you know, in edition 11 edition. 11 edition, it's example 10. Example 10 on the revenue. So if you have another edition, you know, we want to have it on the revenue. Okay. Now, how do we apply the application in terms of derivative? Now, if you know revenue is a function of what? Function of X. So in general, I have Y as a function of X. So you know the derivative of X is dy dx or Y prime. There will be F prime of X. So similarly for the derivative, if I take the derivative of X, of R, okay, the derivative of R, or I differentiate R, derivative of R. So what do I get? I get R prime, okay, or dr dx. Okay, R prime dr dx. And then the economic term of dr dx, what is it? What is the derivative of R in economic sense? If you recall from chapter 1, I got revenue as a function of X. So I got the slope P, you know. What is it equal to? It will equal to delta R over delta X. So what do you call this delta R over delta X?
Profit.
Not profit. Delta R over delta X. But what is it? What do you call it? What is the name? Or what is the term? What do you call it? The term?
Differentiate dx.
You differentiate dr dx. Okay, that is what I did. But what is it?
Derivative.
Apa? Ni, delta R over delta X. Chapter 1. Apa kita panggil benda ni?
Slope.
The slope of the revenue. Okay. What do you call the slope of revenue? I think we mentioned the name.
M, right? M.
M apa? M apa? M, the slope is M, which is the price. Okay, slope M. That's the slope. For the revenue, what do you call it? What do you call the slope of revenue? The economic term? Anybody remember? What's the name? If I change, if I increase X by 1 unit, if we sell X by 1 more unit, revenue will increase by say 20. So what is it? What do you call that thing?
Output, right?
No, not the output.
Cost.
Anybody economic student here?
Marginal revenue.
That's marginal revenue. Okay, so that was marginal revenue. So same thing here. You got the RDX, derivative of X, which is the slope at the point. That is marginal revenue. So the derivative of every variable in economics, most of the variables, they will start with the name marginal. What is marginal? Marginal is a change, small change. All right. So it's not just R. If we have cost function, C is a function of what? Function of X. So if I differentiate the cost, I got what? C prime. Of course, if you go by the chapter 1, you got delta C over delta X. But now it will be derivative, dC dx. So what do you call that? Marginal apa? Still, you put the word marginal. It's not marginal revenue. What is it? Marginal cost.
Marginal cost.
Marginal cost.
And then I have profit. Okay? Profit is a function of X. You take the derivative of the profit, there will be P prime equal to dP dx. Okay, what do we call it? Ini tak payah tahu pun tak apa dah. You already knew the pattern. Okay, so what do you call that thing? The derivative of that profit. Kita panggil apa?
Marginal price.
Marginal apa? Marginal? Marginal point is not marginal point. Marginal what?
Profit.
The profit. Okay, so that's marginal profit. So derivative in economics, most of the variables, you just add the word marginal. So when you see marginal, it means derivative lah, or the change. So M ni marginal. So I can write here marginal. Right? Marginal revenue, marginal cost, marginal profit. Okay, so you fill up. Okay, I don't have the space here. So that is the derivative. So I will continue with the example 10. We don't have time because we want to look at the derivative. We want to describe it as well. So we will continue next week. All right. Okay. So I think I will stop here. I will see you again next week. Have a nice weekend. Do the questions, study for the quiz. Okay. Only 2 topics. So I will see you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you, Doctor.
Salam. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice day, sir.
Inshallah, I have a nice day. Tak nice pun, nice juga.